The truth about breaking through in life that almost no one admits. Here's the controversial opinion most people secretly agree with but will never say out loud. Most people don't break through in life not because they're unlucky, oppressed, or untalented, but because they are deeply afraid of what success would force them to confront about themselves. That sentence alone makes people defensive, and that's how you know it's close to the truth. We live in an era obsessed with explanations. Trauma explains our habits. Burnout explains our lack of discipline. The system explains our lack of progress. Our past explains our present. And while many of these explanations are real, valid, and important, they've also become the safest hiding place for people who don't actually want their lives to change. Because breaking through in life isn't just about gaining something, it's about losing illusions. And that's what people fear most.
Breaking through means your excuses expire. Everyone loves the idea of success from a distance. It looks glamorous, validating, and redemptive. But what people don't talk about is the moment success removes your favorite excuses. When you're struggling, you get sympathy. When you're still figuring things out, you get patience. When you're working on yourself, you get grace. But when you break through, no one cares why you're tired. No one wants to hear about your past. No one applauds your effort, only your results. Breaking through means you can no longer hide behind potential. You either execute or you don't. You either show up or you disappear. And for many people, potential is more comforting than reality. Potential says, I could be great someday. Reality says, this is who you are when no one is clapping. That gap terrifies people.
Freedom is lonelier than people admit. People claim they want freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, creative freedom, emotional freedom. But freedom has an uncomfortable side effect: isolation. When you break through, you stop belonging to familiar excuses. You stop blending into group complaints. You stop being one of us in rooms where everyone is stuck together. And suddenly, you realize something no one warned you about. Freedom separates you from people who bonded with you over limitation. Your growth makes others uncomfortable, not because you're arrogant, but because your existence quietly asks questions they don't want to answer. Why didn't I try harder? Why did I settle? Why did I give up? So instead of confronting those questions, people subconsciously punish ambition by calling it selfish, unrealistic, or arrogant. Most people don't fear failure. They fear outgrowing the people who love them.
Comfort is the real addiction. We love talking about addiction like it's always obvious. Substances, vices, bad habits. But the most socially accepted addiction in the world is comfort. Comfort disguised as routine. Comfort disguised as being realistic. Comfort disguised as waiting for the right time. Comfort doesn't feel dangerous. That's why it works. It slowly numbs urgency. It slowly lowers standards. It slowly convinces you that tomorrow will be different, without requiring anything from you today. Breaking through in life requires a period of intentional discomfort that most people simply refuse to tolerate long enough to see results. They want change without identity disruption, growth without friction, success without social consequences. That combination doesn't exist.
Healing can become a hiding place. This is where the opinion gets especially uncomfortable. Healing is real. Trauma is real. Emotional work matters. But at some point, healing can become procrastination with a nicer name. Some people aren't healing to move forward. They're healing to avoid risk. They're endlessly processing their pain, journaling their feelings, and unpacking their childhood, but never applying pressure to their present.
Because as long as they're still healing, they don't have to fail publicly. Breaking through requires you to act before you feel fully ready, before you feel fully confident, before you feel fully healed. And that scares people who've learned to confuse introspection with progress.
Responsibility is scarier than hardship. This might be the hardest truth to swallow. Some people prefer struggle because struggle gives them a villain. When life is hard, someone or something is to blame. The economy, the system, their parents, their circumstances. But when you break through, there's no villain, just decisions. Every mistake is yours. Every misstep is yours. Every missed opportunity is yours. That level of responsibility is terrifying. It's easier to say, I never got a chance, than to say, I got a chance and didn't maximize it. So people unconsciously sabotage momentum just before things start working. They delay, they overthink, they self-doubt, they find reasons to stop. Not because they're weak, but because accountability is heavier than people expect.
Average is safer than honest self-evaluation. Here's the truth no motivational quote will tell you. Breaking through forces you to confront the possibility that you're not as exceptional as you hoped, but you're also not as helpless as you feared. And that middle ground is uncomfortable. Being average allows you to fantasize about greatness without the pain of execution. It allows you to believe that if circumstances were different, you would be different. Breaking through removes that fantasy. You see your real strengths, your real limits, your real discipline level. And not everyone wants that clarity. Average is vague. Clarity is confronting.
Most people want the outcome, not the identity shift. Success is not just something you achieve, it's someone you become. Breaking through means changing how you spend your time, how you respond emotionally, how you handle boredom, how you handle criticism, how you handle silence. It means saying no more than yes. It means being misunderstood longer than you're celebrated. It means doing unsexy work with no witnesses. Most people want the reward without the identity shift that makes the reward inevitable. So they wait. And waiting feels noble until years pass.
The unspoken agreement everyone makes with themselves. If people were honest, many would admit they've made a silent deal with themselves. I'll try, but not hard enough to lose the story I tell about myself. Because as long as you never fully commit, you never fully fail. Breaking through requires a level of commitment that removes your escape routes. And that's the real reason people stay stuck.
Most people don't need more motivation. They need more honesty. Honesty about how much comfort they're protecting. Honesty about how often fear makes their decisions. Honesty about how much responsibility they're avoiding. Breaking through in life isn't rare because it's impossible. It's rare because it demands a version of you that can no longer hide behind explanations. And most people would rather stay familiar than be free. That's the truth almost everyone feels, but almost no one wants to say.
Which part of this are you protecting right now? Comfort, fear, or an excuse? Comment honestly.